How to truly heal after a breakup, the science of moving on. If you are going through a breakup right now, I feel for you and I want you to know that you are not alone. I know that it feels so alone. It feels so isolating. It feels like you're just in this box of pain, this black box of pain, and you are never going to get out of it. And that this pain is yours and yours alone, and no one could ever possibly understand. I understand. I understand. I was once the queen of obsession and rumination. Some of you guys know I married an ex-boyfriend, and my husband still finds it crazy that I can literally remember verbatim conversations that we had when we were 17 years old. And that's because when the relationship ended, I used to replay every single interaction on loop obsessively, trying to understand where it all went wrong. But here's the thing. Healing doesn't come from understanding why someone left. It comes from learning to be okay with the fact that they did. So today we're diving into the science of moving on, why breakups feel impossible to get over, and the exact steps you need to take to reclaim your peace, your power, and your future. First, let's talk about why it's so hard to let go, and let's look at the science behind this. The first reason is that breakups are like withdrawal. Studies show that romantic love activates the same brain regions as addiction, specifically the parts of your brain associated with cravings and obsessive behavior. So when you were with your ex, your brain was flooded with dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin, feel-good chemicals that made you feel loved, connected, and safe. And now that they're gone, your brain is experiencing dopamine withdrawal. And this is why you feel that urge to text them, to stalk their social media, and to replay those old memories on loop. When you're with someone, they become wired into your nervous system. When you're in a relationship, their presence, their touch, their voice, even their texts become part of your daily experience, right? And over time, your brain and body start to associate them with safety and comfort and connection. So when they leave, your nervous system panics. Why does this happen? It's because your nervous system is designed for survival, and one of its core needs is connection. When you bond with someone, your body releases oxytocin. I'm sure you've heard of this, the love hormone. This helps you feel safe and connected. You also rely on them emotionally, whether it's for validation, for comfort, or just having someone to spend your day with. And then suddenly they're gone, and your nervous system doesn't know what to do. So here's how your nervous system typically reacts after a breakup. Number one is dysregulation. You may feel anxious, restless, or completely shut down. And this is because your body is searching for that familiar connection and it can't find it. Number two, fight or flight mode. Your sympathetic nervous system, which handles stress, goes into overdrive. You might obsess over them, replay memories, and feel the urge to reach out because your brain sees their absence as a threat. Number three, withdrawal symptoms. Losing a partner can feel like drug withdrawal because love triggers dopamine, which is the reward chemical. And without them, your brain is literally craving that high and struggling to adjust. Number four, nervous system collapse. Some people experience shutting down or feeling completely emotionally numb. This is your parasympathetic nervous system trying to protect you from the overwhelming pain by completely disconnecting. And number five, sleep and appetite changes. Your body might struggle to regulate basic functions like eating and sleeping because it's stuck in a stress response. And to that, I'll say it is so important to force yourself to get rest and taking calories. I'm someone for sure, when I'm stressed, I completely lose my appetite. And I've worked with so many clients who are going through a breakup and just cannot eat anything. If you don't eat and you don't sleep, whatever negative emotions you're experiencing are going to get 10 times worse. Everything's going to feel worse. The depression, the despair, the anxiety, the grief. So it's so important, even if you just have to make a smoothie, stuff as many calories as you can in there, put like 2 avocados in there, bananas, whatever you have to do, you have to nourish yourself. But we're going to talk more about coping skills later. Here's another thing about breakups that make it so hard to move on. It's that the sadness is all you have left of them. Hear me out on this, okay? Sometimes, as much as we want to get over the miserable feelings, and it is misery, it's absolute misery, We also don't want to, because then it means that it's really the end. If you're still sad about him, then he's still in your life in some capacity. And you almost hold on to the sadness because you're holding on to the feelings you have for him. So if he does decide to come back, well, you'll be right there. Nothing has changed. Moving on means letting go. And sometimes we're just not ready to let go. And so we stay. We stay in that miserable sadness, even though it feels horrible, even though it's awful. I also see this a lot with my coaching clients. They'll start to feel better. They'll start to get out there more. And then they almost become scared that they're going to meet someone new, because what if their ex comes back? We cannot play this game. You can't play the what if game. You have to play the what is game. Look at what you have right now and what you don't have right now. And right now, the ex is not here. He's not here because he's choosing not to be here. This applies in reverse. I'm saying he, it can also be she. I'm just used to speaking to women, okay? So if you're a man, you're going through a breakup, I'm here for you as well, okay? You have to accept the reality you have right now. We can't live for the maybes and the potential and the possibilities. You just can't do that to yourself. You can't create this alternate fantasy future reality, because then you block yourself, first of all, from just living your life. You put your life on pause, just waiting for something that may or may not happen. And also, your ex, for all intents and purposes, is not the right person for you. Could he someday become the right person for you? Yeah, maybe, but you cannot bank on that. You can't. If he's not here right now, then he's not the right person for you. The right person at the wrong time is the wrong person. And now you might want to counter with, but Sabrina, you married your ex. Like, aren't you? Doesn't that mean that it can happen? Yes, I married him, but I also completely detached from the possibility of us ending up together. For a long time, I was completely attached to that outcome, but then I had to completely let it go because I was just setting myself up for heartbreak and disappointment over and over again. So when he came back into my life that final time, I had zero expectations for what it will be. And I think I talked about this last week in our episode on detachment, and definitely have a listen to that as well if you haven't yet. Now let's talk a little bit about the science of rumination and why you keep replaying the past. When a breakup happens, most of us get stuck on a loop trying to analyze why it didn't work. We go over every conversation, every text, every detail, searching for answers. But here's the truth. Rumination is just a distraction from feeling your emotions. The brain prefers analysis over emotional pain. So trying to solve the breakup makes us feel like we have control, but really, it's just keeping us stuck. And science backs this up. Studies show that overthinking activates the default mode network, the DMN, in the brain. This is the same network linked to anxiety and depression. So the more we ruminate, the deeper we wire those painful neural pathways, and this makes it even harder to let go. So if your brain is working against you, how do you rewire it and actually move forward? Let's talk about the first step, which is removing all traces of them from your life. You have to remove their presence and make space for something new. And I know this is a lot easier said than done. But step one, you have to cleanse your physical space. Your environment holds energy, and keeping their stuff, the old gifts, or even the texts that you keep, that keeps you mentally tied to this person. So your action steps here are to do a breakup purge. Delete all the old text messages, or if you must, like if you feel like, no, I might want to look back on this someday. Look, I'm someone who's very much like that. Take screenshots and then put them in a folder that's like locked away or something. Remove their things. If you don't want to throw everything out, again, put it in a box, lock it with a key, give the key to your best friend, and under no circumstances is she allowed to give you the key back, and like put it up high somewhere that's extremely out of reach. You should also refresh your space. I'm assuming that your partner spent a lot of time at your home and you theirs. And so there's so many memories tied to that. So try and rearrange things. I mean, you can rearrange the furniture or upgrade, like get new sheets or a new comforter, get some candles, get some flowers, just reinvigorate your space a little bit so that it's yours. It no longer has that, and it no longer carries just the shared memories of you and him. Next is you must break the dopamine loop. every time you check their social media, you are giving yourself a tiny hit of dopamine. But that is like scratching a wound, and it only prolongs the healing. You must block, mute, unfollow. You don't need reminders of their life without you. There's so much cognitive dissonance when it comes to social media. Because on the one hand, yeah, we know it's the highlight reel. Yeah, we get it. We know that nobody's posting themselves like crying and depressed in the corner. But on the other hand, when we see something, we believe that it's real. So if you come across your ex smiling and partying and having the time of their life, you think, oh my gosh, they're so much happier without me. And then it just crushes you, even though you have absolutely no idea what's going on in their head. Okay. It's just going to mess with you. I had a client once who just could not trust herself to stop checking up on her ex. She took her phone, she locked it away, put it in a box. She had a work phone, so she had something else to use. She created and on that phone, she didn't have her regular Instagram. She created a Finsta account where she only followed inspiring accounts. And that's what she needed to do to keep her from checking up on him over and over again. And it was really, really effective. In terms of the obsession and the obsessive thoughts, first of all, just in life, one of the greatest skills is learning to manage your thoughts. And this is something that is very easily achievable. When you start to obsess, pause and ask yourself, is this helping me heal, or is this keeping me stuck? What am I actually feeling right now? And what is the real fear underneath this? Is it the fear of being alone, the fear of being unlovable, the fear of getting back out there in the dating scene? What's really going on? Feel your feelings instead of trying to think your way out of them. You can also try the thought replacement technique, which is instead of spiraling on why it ended, shift to what do I want for myself moving forward? You have to be very mindful of which thoughts you choose to engage with. I said choose because it's a choice. You can't always control what thoughts are going to pop into your head. And after breakup, thoughts of him will pop into your head. It's inevitable. That's absolutely going to happen. But here's the difference. Okay, you can have a thought of your ex and feel like, oh, like I miss him. Okay, we can have that thought and we can either notice it and let it pass, or you can, look at it like a bubble and just kind of pop it. Now you have the choice about how much energy you're going to put into that thought. Are you going to start thinking, oh my God, I miss him so much and I'm never going to find anyone like him. And that connection was so rare. It was 1 in a million. And now I have to go back on the apps. The apps are terrible. And I didn't date anyone for like 5 years before my ex. So now it's probably going to be another 5 years before I find someone new. And what am I going to do? I'm going to die alone and my biological clock is ticking. You can go down that line of thinking. And how does that feel? Not so good, right? Or you can just acknowledge, oh, I'm having a thought about my ex right now. That makes sense. The breakup is still fresh. I still haven't fully processed. Okay, and let it pass you by. You have to be mindful of what you're thinking. It's not the thoughts, it's the thinking about the thoughts. I'm sure you guys have heard that book. It's like everywhere right now. Don't believe everything you think. This is like what the entire book is about, okay? It's thinking about the thoughts that causes you so much pain, because a lot of the time when we think about the thoughts, we're just assigning meaning to whatever it was, right? For example, with the ex, you're thinking about him and you're assigning the meaning that I'm not good enough, nothing's going to work out for me. And this causes you to suffer. You have to be very mindful of this because this prolongs your pain. And also this becomes wired in. And then when you are ready to go back out there and date, you are going into the dating world with a complex, with an inferiority complex. You're going out there from a place of fear. And then you're making decisions that are fear-based. And any decision you make from a place of fear is 9 times out of 10 the wrong decision. Okay, so you've removed reminders of him. You're working on getting your thoughts under control. Now, what about the emotional side of detaching? This is where the no contact rule comes in. The no contact rule is a must after a breakup. I don't even know how many coaches there are now. I mean, when I started 15 years ago, there was like 2. Now there are a million. And we all kind of vary, I'm sure, in terms of the way we teach and the things we say. Nobody varies on this. You must follow the no contact rule after a breakup. Science proves this. It's just what has to be done. Again, it is not easy. I am not saying that it's easy. And it has to be done whether you want to get your ex back or you want to move on. So when I say no contact, it means no communication whatsoever. No calls, no texts, no DMs, no Snapchats, no tweets, no nothing. And I also add no stalking or checking up on him on social media. As we've already covered, this is just gonna continue to reopen your wound. The reason the no contact rule always works is there's a few reasons. The first is it gives you the space to detox. The emotional grip loosens and you regain control over your life. Number two, it will give you perspective. When you're in the relationship, emotions cloud your judgment. Distance allows for clarity. Number three, it will help you get over them. The more distance you create, the easier this becomes. Number four, you avoid the endless on again, off again cycle. I feel like breakups sometimes take like multiple attempts before they stick because people love each other and they miss each other, but that isn't enough. If it didn't work, it won't work unless something significant changes, and change takes time and change takes work. Every time you go back, every time you contact him again, every time you meet up late night because you're lonely, you have to reset the healing process. You are setting the clock back. You have to start all over again. Who wants to do that? And number five, you have the chance to rebuild your life. Instead of living in the past, you can start creating a future for yourself. A lot of people will then ask, well, how long should I do the no contact rule for? I say a minimum of 30 days, but it's not really about the amount of time. I say at least 30 days because that feels attainable to people. That doesn't feel so scary. It's not like, oh, like 6 months. For some people, it will require a lot more time, but that really depends on you. No contact is not about waiting a certain amount of time until you can contact him. It's not about looking at the calendar and checking off the dates and saying, oh, Sabrina's had 30 days and I'm almost there. I just got to make it to 30 and then I can reach out to him again and plead my case and try to get him to come back. No, it's about taking space to focus on you and rebuild yourself back up again, because nothing breaks you down like a breakup. So when is no contact over? It's over when you would feel okay with the outcome no matter what. Where you're in a place where, okay, so if you want your ex back, if you feel like, okay, if he wants to get back together, that would be great. That would be amazing. But if he doesn't, I'm not going to spiral. I'm not going to rip myself apart. I will be okay. I can handle it. I will be okay with it no matter what. If you are still desperately aching, desperately in love with this person, if you still feel like you can't regulate without them, you can't be without them, you are definitely not ready to break the no contact period. And I think that we're probably just going to do a whole other episode just on no contact, because it's so important to be mindful of what you're doing during this time so that it will be maximally effective. This is the hardest part, but once you fully commit to it, you will start to see just how much energy was wrapped up in your ex and how much better you feel without it. Now let's talk about how to emotionally detach and heal for good. Number one, feel your feelings. This can be the hard part, but it has to be done. Whatever it is you're feeling, you have to feel it. Don't bury it. Don't hide from it. Don't ignore it. Don't numb yourself out. Feel the awful, brutal feelings. You can't run away from them. They're always going to find you, okay? So you better just do it now before it catches up with you at an inopportune time. How comfortable you are feeling your feelings will dictate how quickly you will move through this grieving process. And it is a grieving process. It's like a death. It's so hard to reconcile because it's the death of somebody who is still in this world. And it's extremely painful. You have to mourn the loss because it is a loss. It's a great loss. It's the loss of the potential. It's the loss of what could have been. It's the loss of the future that you thought you were going to have. In the beginning, I'm sure you had grand visions of where this would go, because the beginning is always such a magical, such a euphoric time. But things didn't pan out that way. They didn't pan out the way you had hoped, and now it's time to accept that. You have to give yourself time to grieve. You can't skip this step. And you have to be kind and gentle to yourself during this process. Don't get mad at yourself for feeling what you're feeling. You have to accept it as part of the process. You have to. Don't judge yourself. I see this a lot with people who are getting out of like situationships, so it wasn't an official relationship, and they're like, I'm so stupid for feeling this way. Like, why can't I get over this already? Because it's still a loss. You're still feeling that grief. And with the ex-situationship situation, there was so much more potential that was unexamined, that was unexplored, because the other person didn't want to explore it. And in a lot of ways, that can be even more painful. The only way out is through. So don't try to bypass it. You can't. Don't self-destruct. This was always my tendency. I mean, as soon as things would go wrong, I would hit that self-destruct button. Don't binge. Don't starve. Don't drink to the point of blacking out. Don't jump right into a new relationship because you want to avoid your feelings and you just need to feel good about yourself. You have to face it. You got to face it head on. It's a temporary pain. Yes, it will be hard, but it's temporary pain that's going to take you exactly where you want to go. But you can't stay in this place forever, okay? The grieving process, it needs to have a limit. You have to set a deadline for when it's going to end. Life has to go on. You have to move forward. You can't keep mourning this loss. It will take time, but that's okay, right? Title of this podcast, You Will Be Okay. Number 2, challenge the narrative. I would say this is the most important piece of all. We all create a story about why things happened. And most of us interpret a breakup as, I just wasn't enough. But what if there was another way of looking at it? What if there was another way of looking at it? A good question to ask yourself is, what do I think was going on in his head when he hurt me? And here's a challenge for you, okay? I want you to write down all your past partners, boyfriends, situationships, any significant heartbreak. So you're going to write them down in one column. The next column, you're going to write why it ended. In the next column, you're going to write your interpretation of why it ended. I wasn't enough. They didn't love me. I did something wrong. That other girl was prettier. That's why he cheated on me. And then you're going to provide an alternative explanation. Okay? Maybe we just weren't aligned. Maybe I ignored the red flags. Maybe they were incapable of love. If you do this, you will see that you were picking the interpretation that made you feel horrible and played into all of your old wounds and old fears and limiting beliefs. So give it a try and report back to me. Tell me how you did. Step 3, stop overanalyzing and romanticizing the relationship. The more you replay old memories, the harder it will be to move forward. This is another way your brain tricks you. It tricks you into remembering only the good times. Every time you analyze their behavior, you are reinforcing your attachment to them. We're trying to detach, not get more attached. You got to stop doing this. So here's another little homework assignment for you. Write down 5 things about the relationship that didn't feel good. Whenever you catch yourself idealizing the past, remind yourself of those things. Keep that list handy. Put it on your phone, write it down, just have it somewhere that's very handy and accessible. Step 4, rebuild your life. You got to focus on self-care. Focus on looking your best, feeling your best. Nourish your body and your soul. Exercise, eat well, and practice self-love. This is so important. You have to be there for yourself. You have to be there for yourself. Don't rip yourself apart. It's not about you. It's not that you weren't good enough. You have to quit it with that narrative. We're going to talk more about that in this podcast. Definitely going to do a future episode on that. You have to surround yourself with love. Reconnect with family, with friends who genuinely care about you. Right now, you have a massive disconnection because you're missing somebody because you are missing the person that was so associated with love and connection to you. And there's a void. You have to fill that void in a healthy way. I also always recommend anyone going through a breakup, get out there and do some volunteer work. This will get you out of your head. It will put you back in a position of strength, of being a giver. And it's also just a wonderful thing to do. There are so many people in need and there are so many ways to give back. You should also travel, take up a new hobby. This is another big one. Like set a meaningful goal for yourself. Maybe you want to train for a marathon or a triathlon or learn a new language or learn how to cook from scratch. Do something that shifts your focus outward. And this will also just build your self-esteem. Number 5, stop waiting for closure. Give it to yourself. Closure isn't something that you get from them. It's something that you decide. I know we all want to have that closure. We want that closure. We want him to tell us what happened, why he decided to leave, but we don't want him to say anything that's going to hurt our feelings too much. So he has to say it in a way that allows us to move on without us being too hurt. And it just doesn't exist. And I'm sure he couldn't even fully articulate the reason. Or whatever the reason is, he's probably not going to tell you the truth. He's going to tell you something else. They could come back and say everything you ever wanted to hear, but this would still not make the pain disappear. It would not change anything. The real closure is realizing that it's closed, it's finished, it's done. This wasn't the right person for you. And now you're free. You're free. You are one step closer to finding the person who is right for you. Another one of my favorite post-breakup exercises is write them a letter that you don't plan to send. Pour everything out. Just get it all on the page. Either you can keep it, which I always did, because all these years later, I still like to look back at these letters on occasion, from time to time, wow, I cannot believe that that person caused me so much turmoil and pain. Or you can have a little ceremony where you burn it, rip it apart, flush it down the toilet, whatever you want to do. This is your way of just releasing them. Number 6, do a self-check. Everything that happens in life, especially when it comes to the hard stuff, And breakups are the hard stuff, probably some of the hardest experiences you will ever have to go through in life. Everything has the potential to either tear us down or take us to a higher place. As brutal as breakups are, they are also a great time to do some reflection and inner work. So rather than stewing in the feelings of hurt and pain, try to find a way to come out of this even better than you were before. Here are some good questions to ask yourself. What did I learn from this relationship that I can use in my next relationship? What did I do in this relationship that I won't ever do again in another relationship? What qualities do I truly need in a partner? Think of the qualities your ex had that you appreciated, as well as the areas where they were lacking, where they couldn't meet your needs. Why did I stay even though the relationship wasn't working? What did I learn about myself through my time with them? And finally, why was this breakup for the best? Number 7, get excited about your next relationship. So once you have felt your feelings, once you have found ways to love yourself, once you've learned the lessons, you've processed, and you're feeling strong, you're feeling like a better person. Once you have felt your feelings, found ways to love yourself, and learn the lessons that will help you be an even better person, get excited to use these newly acquired tools to have an even better relationship with a partner who is even more suited for you. I know how daunting it can feel to dive back into the dating pool. But don't focus on the annoying sides of dating. Think about the exciting parts. Think about how thrilling a new relationship can be. That first date, the first kiss, the excitement that comes when you're starting something new, and the unlimited potential that lies ahead. I would love to go back in time and date my husband all over again and experience the magic of the beginning. You only get one beginning and then it's done. Think about how amazing it will be to start clean with someone new. Think about what it will be like to be with a partner who truly gets you, who truly appreciates you for the sum of all your parts, who cherishes you and would do anything to make you happy. He exists. He's out there. You'll just have to have faith on this one, because until he shows up, it might feel like you're never going to find it. And when you do, and you will, you'll wonder how you ever could have been worried about not finding it, because what you have is just so right and so clear. And remember, it takes time. Your nervous system will rewire, but it takes time. But remember, the more you give yourself love and care, the faster you will heal. If this episode resonated with you, please give it a like and make sure to share it to a friend who might need to hear it. Also, please review, rate, follow, like, subscribe, and let me know what other episodes you would like to see on this podcast. You can email me, Sabrina@SabrinaBendori.com. Follow me on Instagram @SabrinaBendori, or also the @YouWillBeOK podcast. I love hearing from you guys, and I will see you next week.